Welcome to the Brewtiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And while last episode I was out gallivanting around jolly old England, Ron is gallivanting around jolly old Japan. So it's just you got a duo 2 weeks in a row, but it's a different dynamic duo.
Fair enough. Welcome back, and Ron, hope you're safe and traveling well over there.
Yes, sir. And bring back some cool new Japan soccer kits, please.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're just cheating yourself if you don't. All right. Well, tonight's episode of the Brewtiful Game, y'all. USA. Our U.S. men's national team came out kicking last Friday night as they comfortably handled Paraguay 4-1 in Los Angeles. So tonight we'll discuss that opening match, or group match, I should say, and look ahead at their match against Australia in Seattle. What a different climate for those Australians.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the time you're listening to this pod, you'll either be just before the game or during the game or after the match.
Somewhere in there, we'll find out what's up. Then at halftime, we're going to blow the whistle as the gushing gunner of the Brewtiful Game and the euphoric, eventful evangelist of the Emirates. Blake shares with you some of his tales from the recent travels to the UK in this edition of Storytime with Uncle Blake. And then for second half of the pod, we're going to bounce around the groups with our 2-minute drill as we discuss some of the match results from the first round of matches, as well as discuss some of the talking points from the competition thus far in our adaptive edition of the World Cup LeagueA's Roundup. And we might get some predictions in there somewhere.
Yeah, we might.
Well, first the beer. Ferris, you've got one that you question if we've had on the pod before?
Yeah, because I think I've had it on the pod before because, as most of you know, my local brewery is Toll Road Brewing in Ocoee, Florida, about a 5-10 minute drive from me here. And I know I've had this beer before, but when I went to untap it on Sunday when I was out watching games with Tony Soundgood and a friend of the pod, Britt, we were watching Japan and the Netherlands match, which we'll talk about later on because that was probably the match of the opening stage first game so far. Tony had it. I was like, I'm pretty sure I've had it before. So sure enough, we had not untapped it. But I had to go back the other day and get a 32-ounce growler fill. So I have a growler of this bad boy.
You definitely thought Ron would be around for this one.
Yeah. I was like, okay, well, but he's probably mad that he's not. However, he can get some of his own Japanese rice lager because I have, Sensei, Japanese rice lager from Toll Road Brewing.
I love a good craft rice lager. That's great.
So good. And like I said, I'm pretty sure I've had it in the pod, but I have no clue. But it's a 4.9% ABV, 20 IBU, light-bodied lager with a clean, crisp flavor and subtle sweetness from the rice. And it's darn good. It is what Tony drank the entire time while we were at Toll Road and watched that game. I switched to that, and I was on it. So I've had it before. Can't wait to have it again. And in honor of kind of the Japan team that likes to keep things so tidy, both on the pitch and off the pitch, I figured I'll have a Japanese rice lager for them.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to get into a little bit of story time with my travels, pre story time later, before halftime. Is I'm going to bring a beer from my travels. I stayed in a cool little hamlet. I don't know if that's what it'd be called, of Great Shelford, which is in Cambridgeshire. So about an hour and a half north of London, maybe a little northwest, just barely, almost straight up. And it's in the county of Cambridgeshire. And so Cambridge proper, 15-minute train ride, 8-minute train. It's not long. It's like, I think, an 8-minute to one stop and like 16 to the center city. And so day one, got into Cambridge, and I lived primarily, and I'll talk about this later, on pull draft beers. We don't get those frequently around here. So
right.
Yeah, so that's all I did.
Kind of beer.
However, where I stayed nearby, there is a brewery that I discovered called Brew Board Brewery. And I'm excited to try this because everything I did was old or in old pubs and stuff. And these guys are not. This is a pub or a brewery founded in 2017. So About Us Brewboard is a small independent Cambridge-based craft brewery. In the few short years since we started, there have been many highs and lows, not the least of which was the reasonably tricky hurdle of trying to start up a brewery while the pubs closed for 18 months for a worldwide epidemic. We've had a couple of breweries that have literally opened around that time as well on this pod. In spite of that, sheer work and love for what we do means we've grown year on year and have a quiet ambition to ensure the pattern continues while remaining fiercely loyal to the main principle that at the inception, to produce beers that we like and hope others will too. How it began, we moved our headquarters just outside of Cambridge on New Year's Day 2017 at the site of a former brewery. At the site, the idea of the brewery had been in the pipeline for a number of years. Co-founder Stuart Chambers had been honing his brewing skills on a pilot brewing kit for quite some time while researching online, reading books, and making friends in the industry by helping out on brew days at several different craft breweries before convincing fellow co-founders Paul Archer and Oliver Pugh, these are all such British names, I love it,
Yes, they are.
to join the board full time and get a new Cambridge-based microbrewery off the ground. We've released over 40 different beer styles. We now are known for our craft diversity for hop-forward pale ales and IPAs, our Quebec-based NE IPA, so New England IPAs, our dry-hopped lagers, and vibrant stouts. Our beers have been described as bold, intuitive, and balanced, regardless of style and strength. They've got a 30 hectoliter capacity brew kit. Look at this. A 12 cylindro conical fermenters, single infusion mash tun, a Whirlpool gas-fired copper, Innovis Engineering CF25 automated canning line. I don't even know what half of that means, but I think it's cool. It's right there.
Sounds brilliant.
And they got their online store. And what next is they've increased the brewery with another half a dozen fermenting vessels. And they know they're in a fortunate position whereby they are handling the growth of sales. We can produce and punctuate our core range more fully with specials. One thing I like is you can hire them out to come out with a brew van or a brew truck and all this stuff.
That's
I'm like,
cool.
Oh, dude, it's really cool. You can rent their space out like many restaurants can, but they do a private hire with a beer bus that is the freaking bomb. I just want to live there so I can be the guy at the end of the cul-de-sac that hires the beer bus to come over for a neighborhood block party.
You'd be the most popular guy on the block.
And I'm just going to read this one review from an article from Aspect that just says, dispense with the notion of brewers and lab coats boring you to tears with yeast-based chat because this lot of hop-loving pros make creating a space and atmosphere in which to properly enjoy the outcome of their labors the focus. And this particular beer, and I mentioned before the pod, they put a QR code on each of their beers, and they have really cool art in line with a lot of the stuff you and Ron have been sharing lately. But they put a QR code to take you right to the beer tasting information. However, this one is so simple. This is the Checkham 8, a splendidly seasonable, sessionable, no frills Pilsner. Why mess with a classic? Ingredients are water, barley, hops, and yeast. That's it. So check out the art here. It's this weird, they have a king's head and a bishop's head, but they're pro wrestlers.
Oh my god!
Photorealistic
awesome.
art. Yeah.
That's can art that'll grab your, you're walking by the cooler at a brewery. What the hell is that?
Every can was kind of hard to choose from to do for this pod, but I went with the Pilsner because the other ones are more hop forward. So I thought I would start with this Czech Pilsner first. And hold on, I'm going to do it in style. Check this out.
What'd you get in your glass?
Still in the cardboard. Got to take it off.
Okay.
This here, I will wear this as I drink this, is the Cambridge United FC scarf for the local club there in Cambridge.
I love it. It's Dortmund colors.
It's Dortmund color.
I was man, did I turn Blake to Dortmund finally?
Yeah.
No, Cambridge United.
Yeah, Cambridge United, that sort of gold, yellow, really sweet scarf.
That is sweet, dude.
They are, I'll talk about them later. Obviously, the season was not happening while I was there, but they're very much trying to get the name out. They are in, we did this earlier. I forget what Cambridge United FC, what they are in.
They in the North-South League?
They're higher than that. They were fighting for promotion and did not quite
League One?
Did not quite make it. I think they're League One. But I'm going to have to add them to my foot mob for following League Two. They're in League Two. So they almost made promotion to League One. They ended the season. Oh, wait, am I wrong? Oh, it was a fight to the very end. I meant to talk about this on the last pod I was on.
EFL League One. They're in League One.
Yes, they got promoted. They did get promoted.
Yeah.
So they it came down to the wire because they were third for guaranteed promotion. Fourth was 81 points. They were 82. Yeah. So it came down to the wire, and they just got promoted to League One. But they're still very much, if you go to the website, they're like, maybe not on the website, but the material I would see in the area was like, hey, some people still don't know about us, like, which is crazy to think because you've got this. Like Cambridge is a cool old city, but it's wild to think that the football club is, but someone's like, hey, you should come back next season. I bet they'd talk to your show. They are trying to get the word out everywhere. They've made their website awesome. They're getting good merch. They're trying to build the name. I was like, okay.
Neil Harris is their manager. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But maybe we could talk to someone. I don't know. I want to try. All I know is the scarf kicks butt. I don't have a yellow scarf like this.
No, that is and sweet and simple.
Yep. It's nice and simple, and I hate. I'm glad I went when I went, but man, I missed out on the football. So I'm quickly planning another trip to go back so I can go check all the football. Well, I think we should try this beer.
Let's do it. I gotta open up my growler here. I got a 32-ounce growler, so
there we go. New scarf, a little bit of beer splash on it already. It's christened.
Oh, brilliant!
It's absolutely christened. Ooh, this beer smells good. So this is a brewery I didn't get to visit while I was there. So I'm very excited to try this one. I was able to smuggle back just enough beer. Ooh, nice yellow straw.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Ferris, I see you're like, Blake, what is that sexy glass you got? Well, hold on a second.
Like, I was just about to ask you. I was like,
let's just give another little preview to story time. Check out the coolest glass that has ever been on this pod.
Look,
that is right. Straight from the stadium.
Okay.
And my visit, an Arsenal bruised banana Stanley pint glass that keeps your beer cold.
Bougie, pinky up.
Yeah, so it doesn't have a top, as you can see. It's just open. I have tried this already, not the beer, but the can or this Stanley pint glass. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna get a couple more. This is like
they hold it well, don't they?
Absolutely. Pour your beer. Sit out by the fire on a summer night or like a fall. This is flawless, man. Like yeah,
that's awesome.
Keeps the beer nice and cold. You run it under a little cold water right before you pour it on. Look at that ugly blue. It's so ugly.
And so does that have a top and stuff on it, or is it just a pint?
No top. It's a pint glass. It's called a stackable.
That's awesome.
Stackable pint glass. So you could.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
okay.
And they had a red one. They had a high berry one, which is cool, white with the bird. Yeah. But those are new and aren't in yet. But at the stadium store, they had a few of the bruised banana, and I was like, this cup is so ugly. I want this. It makes the red one look so boring and plain.
Fair enough.
I wanted this ugly ass bruised banana.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. It's perfect for glass. I mean, unless it's an Arsenal fan, no one's gonna mistake that's your glass.
No kidding.
But yeah, man, they make them. You just get the Stanley pint. I totally recommend it. So I can't see the beer color through this, but it's okay.
All right.
It's all good.
It's all right.
Cheers, brother.
Cilantro. Oh man.
Oh, dude. Oh. Okay, this is oh man, that's so good. So if a brewery has a Pilsner, I got this because it's kind of like if I go to a New Mexican place, I just want to, first time, just give me taco, please. I want your like quintessential, like, give me your street taco.
Right.
and see how that is before you do anything else in the menu. So I got the Pilsner, but man, this is it's got that hit of that grassy funk, but not like super strong. It's definitely a European Pilsner, which I've had a bunch of lately on the pod. But this is fantastic. It is described as a sessionable, no frills Pilsner.
I hear you say that. Yeah.
And that's it. This is good, and it's going to go down extremely fast.
I mean, there's no surprise. This is just a great Japanese rice lager. I mean, it rates pretty highly on Untapped. It's right there in the range of 4 on there in terms of what it rates. It's just darn good, even out of a growler that was poured yesterday. But I had an opener sealed, and it tastes glorious. So I'm definitely going to finish off this 32-ounce growler.
I mean, I haven't had anything from that brewery that wasn't fantastic.
Oh, Toll Road's so good.
Toll Road is one of the best.
Oh yeah,
definitely something I miss from living in Central Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's harder when Ron's not on. I'm trying to surreptitiously take a picture of my beer and go, "Oh no, there's no one to chat right now."
Yeah, Ron always. I'm always the one that takes the photos for the most part when Ron's over here at the studio. So I get kind of the same photo there. You know, it's right in front of the board. I have a couple of figurines in the background, from Yoda to a Star Wars Rey Marta.
Yeah, one of my favorites. I love that.
Yeah, to a 2024 Orlando Pride Championship ring that they sold, to a Barbara Banda Hat Trick Hero, and to a Robin Johansson Mandalorian Star Wars inspired figurine. So that's what you usually see.
I usually get my Yoda in this picture, but I had to zoom in too close to get the sexiness of this ugly bruised banana cup.
Fair enough.
I love that literally that kit is loved because, like, it's nasty.
It's just ugly.
It's just ugly. And I
UDLY, you ain't got no alibi.
I couldn't stop. I was like, I have to get, even my daughter was like, Dad, it's that one. You have to get that one. And I was like, man, for all the vintage stuff they've got in here, I wish they had one of these old, were doing they have a couple of shirts and things that are the bruised banana right now, but they don't have like an honest bruised banana, like throwback kit. I would totally get that right now.
Give it time, my friend.
Hey, they are releasing did you see that? They're throwing back that old JVC one with the old Arsenal crest is going to come out.
Well,
yeah.
And I was going to say, Adidas is tending to do that a lot.
I'm digging
They're
that,
tending to throw back to late 70s, that sort of stuff. The one that United's wearing this year, I think, is a late 71s, and I got I'm going to get here sooner or later. But no, Adidas does tend to kind of, and even what is it Adidas that's doing the 94 World Cup merch too?
Yes.
Now?
Yes.
And how they throw that back, like, super cool. Like, I always like Adidas for just soccer apparel in general. I think they always put out just good stuff. Yeah, you're going to get the 3 stripes. Everybody knows that. They're going to be on the stuff.
But they put out, yeah. Speaking of which, when the pod's over, I got to make sure I have your shipping address to send the kit and the soccer kit ferry from the tent sale. Right. That just happened right before I left for England. The local soccer shop that I told a story about 2 pods ago when Arsenal had won. They had their tent sale, so I went and I got some, but I got to send it to you so Ron can be there and open it on the pod, because his is a bit of he won't know what I did for him.
I'll just as soon as I get it in, won't even open it, and we'll just do it on the pod.
Perfect. I almost said what it was and went, wait, Ron may listen to this on his flight back. Don't do that. That would be terrible. I don't know if you're noticing the cool new shirt that I'm wearing, by the way, that came from
I did. I was going to ask, did you get that there too?
Yeah. This was not at Arsenal. This was at the tent sale at my local local soccer shop. So, which means it was way cheaper than buying it at the Arsenal store.
100%.
Absolutely. All right. Well, hey, let's talk. I don't have a good segue. Let's just swing on over to the World Cup. I'll give you a segue. It was surreal sitting in a pub in freaking Cambridge downtown, and I was very unplugged from what was happening. It was the last friendly that England was playing, and I'm sitting in the pub, and my wife's like, "Oh, you want to sit on this side? The TV's showing soccer," and I was like, "Yeah, is it which I of course I was like, "Hey, careful, they'll know we're American," but I sit down and I'm like, "Those are purple and gold seats. Oh my god." Is this a friendly at Orlando City? And I've just been out of touch. And there's England's last friendly playing at Orlando City. And I'm sitting there. You were at the match. You sent a picture to our group and I'm just like, this is surreal, man. And remind me of that, because that'll tie to my stories later, because met some cool people because of that there at the pub. But the World Cup, it's happening. Before I read about U.S. men's national team, do you have the same feeling that I do, that I went, okay, FIFA sucks, but the people right at the crest of the event starting, and by like the people coming to visit America, the Scots, the stories of the Norwegians, started to make the World Cup cool again because of the people.
100%.
You know, because I was so...
And you don't have one group of people. You don't have 32 groups of people. You have 48 groups
and
of people.
All the stories.
We talk about some of the games and just some of the goals that have gone in and whether teams get beat or not. It is like the moment of like a lifetime for some of these players.
But not even that, man. Like the stories of like some of the people from overseas getting Airbnbs in Alabama neighborhoods and getting to... I mean, like that...
The guy... Who's the guy on Twitter? Was it Frank or Fred? The German guy that is going around. He's like, well, I went to a Waffle House last night. It was the most amazing thing ever.
Literally right now, social media feeds of people experiencing stuff. Watching, I forget what player it was from what team, went and got like 2 carts at Walmart.
Lamine Yamal for Spain in a Walmart in Tennessee.
Yes.
Figure that crap out.
Yeah. And not for nothing, being from North Carolina, the fact that Erling Haaland might have eaten might have eaten a cookout burger from the cookout chain that is very regional.
The people in LA, there was the thing that was going around online where a guy was explaining to a Japanese supporters what to get at In-N-Out and saying, you know, you got to get it wild style and all of that. Looking at him like, there's 5 heads. They're trying In-N-Out burger for the first time.
Because of all the FIFA stuff and the tickets, I was so did not have the magic feeling of a World Cup at all until normal people started telling those stories.
And in all honesty, like the headlines coming out haven't been that bad. If you think the main headline, like, you know, we'll talk about them all here in a little bit, but the main headlines are the supporters, hydration breaks.
Yeah.
And the stars are just shining right now.
Yeah. Well, and the big negative one is what people are continually being not allowed or allowed to be, the referee that didn't get in, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Canada didn't let in Thomas Partey, but none of us thought that was a problem.
No, but when you also lie on your application saying that you're not being charged, you're not up on you, then that's regardless of what country you're in. So, like you're, it's not like they had to do any sort of background check because it's all over the news, right?
Yeah,
it's just,
but it's
not smart.
But yeah, like that's been the major negative outside of the ticket situation. I got really excited for a moment, and I was going to try my best to convince you, and if Ryan was back, to go screw it. If you guys fly up, I'll get tickets. There's going to be Mbappe playing on Monday here. And then I'm like, the cheapest ticket I can find is $1,900 in the nosebleed and at the stadium in Philly. And I was
because France are playing and it's Mbappe. Yeah.
I mean, if I got to tell you, if it were $1,500 for the 3 of us, but like,
a
piece, I was like, oh man. Yeah. I mean, even then I'd be like, that's expensive, but like, you know what?
It's a one-time in a World Cup here in the States.
Exactly. And I think I am still disappointed in that because it's literally happened an hour and a half from me. And I don't think I can go.
I mean, you can go down and go to the Fan Fest and that sort of stuff, which there's been a lot of those cool things they're doing in Dallas and San Fran and Kansas City. They have a really cool thing that CBS is there a lot on. But no, it's fun. It's fun to see it, you know, and it's, for us, we get essentially from noon until all the way to possibly 2 a.m. some nights of just back to back with an hour in between. So hour in between, you can do laundry, you can do whatever, you can take a shower, you go get food, come back, and then the next game's on. Like, that's awesome. It's because it's here. It's if you were overeating on those sort of things, these games are being played at
they're pretty late,
2:30 morning, 3 a.m. Those sort of things. But no, it's certainly fun, and we've only just kicked off the second round of games today. So,
well, it's definitely
brought a
brought
lot more to go. Still have a month before the final even happens.
The people have brought it back. My favorite, I have a couple of favorites, but my favorite might be the Norway supporters sitting on an escalator in New York backwards, so that they're acting like they're rowing as they're going up.
I think my favorite, and we'll say it here, is the Tartan Army showing up to the Sox game the next day and just cheering
So Ron and
I,
we have a good friend that maybe we should see if we can get her on the pod. She actually lives here. She is stage managing the World Cup in Boston, and I reached out to her, and she was like, the Scots are insane. Not in a scary way, just like, and she was saying the thing about running out of beer.
Drank all the beer.
I would say before it even popped in the news, but she said, but it's awesome. But do you have Japan on our thing to talk about it all?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I'll save this there because there's one Japan thing. It's already been talked about a lot, but I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. I'll save it for that. I'll save it for that. But that's all to say. We're both smiling. It's nice to be talking about the World Cup and be smiling because I feel like prior it was like I just was hard to get excited.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm excited. Am I excited about
this helped to get us excited. This match helped to get us excited.
I was going to say.
It was a shocker.
So
a great shocker.
If you don't vote by now, then here in the Bald Eagle Budweiser, Mick Ultra, Flying French Fries, have you been? Because our U.S. men's national team did their best damn impression of the U.S. women's national team by coming out of the group stage, starting gates on fire to put a good old-fashioned attacking can of whoop-ass on Paraguay last Friday in Los Angeles. 4-1 was a scoreline as Captain Christian Pulisic, good old Captain America, ran wild in the first half, terrorizing the left side of Paraguay's defense to not only create an own goal 7 minutes in, but then set up Flo Balogun in the 31st to double the lead, only for him to go top bins, Artemis style, just before half to make it 3-0 at the break, then for the absolute cherry on top of our American apple pies, and just before the final whistle to help expel the demons of the 22 World Cup. Out, demons! Whom other than Gio Reyna with an absolute worldy travaila to put U.S. soccer supporters into surprising soccer bliss, the likes of what we've rarely ever felt or expected. So we ask, what in the double eagle Uncle Sam was that?
I haven't the slightest, but I love it.
Amen.
And that's going to be the only curse of the pod. Sorry, Blake.
Amen. No, amen, man. Because the big thing we've been talking about in previous episodes where I don't have faith because these guys just don't look like they played. They all have talent, but they don't look like they play together.
That went out the door in the first 10 minutes of the match, though. They looked in sync. They looked in tune. They looked fit. They looked hungry. They looked together. They looked like they knew what overlapping was. They knew like Pulisic was terrorizing that left side.
So do you think it just was the positive pressure of the World Cup? Where was this inkling of this kind of play in the lead up?
I don't know. It's just Paraguay, right? But it's not like we are
fair enough
vastly different in the FIFA rankings. I don't know if it's staying in front of a U.S. pro crowd in Los Angeles on a primetime night. It was at night. It was 9 o'clock Eastern time on Friday nights. It's 6 o'clock, LA time. But to come out of the gates and a bit underwhelming for the first goal to go in and be an own goal. But you're like, whatever, we'll take it. But then it was but an own goal, it was the Flo Balogun show.
Yeah,
that just we've missed a number 9 that likes of that we haven't seen since maybe Jose Altidore. But I don't think Flo Balogun's a different striker. He's not a big bruising. He's more of a silky, get in behind the lines. I don't want to say poacher, but he did have some poacher goal or not poacher, but a just a predator in the box is more where I'm going with that, because he seems to find spaces inside of the defense that put him into very good positions to score. And that's what Pulisic found for him on the second goal. And then to make that third goal kind of ball over and defender didn't quite handle it as well, but to turn and just rocket that up just before half. As a team on the other side, you never want to give up a goal before half, and you never want to give up a goal coming out of the half. So to score just before we went to half, it's a huge boost. 3-0 at half. You're like, what? You're right. Where has this been? What has this been? Well, and will it continue to occur in the second half? And to some degree it did, but the game changes at that point. You're up 3-0 coming out of half. You're not going to quite play the same way that you did. And they didn't. But they did a professional job because they saw out the game and they handled and managed the game well.
They did. And you brought up rankings. So Paraguay 41, USA 17. And I gotta be honest, I feel that 17 feels high for us.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit close.
I think I'd forgotten. I thought maybe low mid to high 20s is what I thought.
Yeah, but it's a Paraguay team that beat Argentina, that beat Brazil, I want to say, in CONMEBOL qualifying. So it's a very stout, just very they're going to give you a game and they're going to put in a tackle, and they couldn't even catch us to put in a tackle on Friday night. It was wild.
Yeah, if I have a worry or concern, it's that obviously we play Australia next, and they are 20. What are they ranked, like 27th, Australia?
Yeah, they're better. Yeah. And we beat them in the last few years.
Yeah,
2-1. And I think in the past year, in the lead up to this, but
so I think
they came out fighting. So it should be a better game, and I don't expect it to be another 4-1 game.
No,
by any stretch. But you want to see some consistency on the style of play and how that press went and how the movement went and how it was just relentless the entire game.
I don't like. I think my worry is, let's say we beat Australia and it looks like we're totally going to be able to walk out of this group without worries, right? I don't want them to stop playing like this. I don't want them to get like careful and then go into some strategy games to basically not lose, get a because I feel like what America has really lacked has been consistency. So they kind of need to this group's, they got to put it all out there every game.
I agree. And we have to temper expectations a bit, because we do got to play Turkey and Australia, and obviously when we want to get out of the group top. But to come out this way, and then for Gio Reyna to pull that off at like literally the death of the game in the 90th plus 8 was just like, it was like the perfect perfect end of the night, especially from a player that, and we said it on this pod, I said it on this pod, I don't know if he should have even gotten into the squad based on form of playing, but in what that minute and that goal that he scored, you're like, okay, well, you got that wrong, because clearly Poch saw something there that he liked and that he could change games and score goals, and that's exactly what he did. Not that he changed the game, because the game was 3-1 at that point, but it's just, we can just hope we see something similar in the next game. The scoreline doesn't have to be the same.
No, but just that high flying
something.
Yeah.
Yes, to see that same kind of no fear and just the attacking threat that we were, with a solid, poised, calm back line. And Chris Richards back there makes a world of difference. And for him to be fit in this game, I think was a huge help. Again, not that they were under pressure a great deal, but, and he was kind of at fault, I guess, for that, for their goal, just from coming out when he probably shouldn't have even got turned. But, let's see what happens tomorrow. And right now you have to go the proverbial game by game, see what happens next, and get out of the group, which gives us, just winning the first game, because you got to keep in mind, eight third place teams advance to the round of 32. Yeah. We've never had a round of 32, right? It's only been the round of 16. So, being first in one of those will help to play some of these third place teams if we do get out of the group first. And that has to be the goal. And a win in Seattle against Australia will go a long way.
The English chaps I met at the pubs were very thought we would do great in the group and then get knocked out quickly. That was their prediction of pretty much everyone. I
hope it's at least we get to the round of 16 or to quarterfinals after that. That would be ideal.
And I'd be honest, they were talking to me. And I was like, I don't know, guys. I've not been very up on the team. Obviously, it was before this match, and I'm like, they're like, come on, you don't even think they'll get out of the group? I'm like, I don't. If it didn't happen, I wouldn't be shocked. Like that's where I was kind of at,
right?
With things. But wow, where was it? Keep it. Did you see the quote from Poch yesterday about U.S. soccer?
I don't know if I.
So
I know he had some. I don't know if I know exactly what it is though.
U.S. soccer coach Mauricio Pochettino says, "quote American sports reward losers." After being asked about his World Cup team style of play, if you start in the MLS and you haven't won a game in 3 months and you're at the bottom, what's the consequence if there's no promotion or relegation, no international competition? American sports reward losers. But soccer is different. If you reward those who don't win, if you don't have goals, you don't fight. If I lose, what happens? Nothing. They just fire the coach. Also, the American player is disciplined, but with a sense of complacency that isn't good in soccer. It took us 1.5 years to change that mentality.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, it's definitely stuff we've talked about.
Yeah.
And it's like he's not saying America has to switch to promotion relegation. But he's just saying because we don't have it, there is a
mentality.
Yeah.
I think that speaks to what
look at what just happened with Spurs, right? What happened to Spurs is going to be in the back of Everton's mind. Anybody, any player, any team, top team now, it's still like, man, you still have to manage this right because if you don't, it could be a quick slip down. West Ham, that's a big club to be relegated. So
yeah, but. And I think a lot of that quote speaks to things that you heard after this game from former players and people that have been around the camp and prior to the match was Pochettino has seemingly, it's one game. We got to keep that in mind, but he's seemingly changed a culture shift, right? And that part of that culture shift is the mindset of some of those players, the mindset of playing for the U.S. And, let's play with a bit of hesitancy because we can't get knocked out in the group.
Yeah.
We just got to make it to here. Opposed to let's go game by game and our goal is to win it all, but we have to go game by game type of thing. It's just different mentality, different culture on how to look at these things that it's sometimes not the match results. It's the journey. It's the play. Did anybody feel bad when we lost to Germany, like the game before this and the last kind of no, it was actually like they fought hard. They stayed in it. There was a moment, 10-minute spell there at bad. They can cut that out. They're drawing the game or they're going on to win the game. Just a different mentality. And that was the feel in this match. Will it continue? That's yet to be seen until we get into, a few more games here.
My hope with him having been here, because I don't know that he lasts past this World Cup in the sense, not that they get rid of him, but people with a lot of money and be knocking on the doors, especially if he managed to have them punch above weight, even more so. But I hope what it does is it makes the shift so that also U.S. Soccer knows they can't go back with the manager.
Got to try to go forward.
It has to go forward. And that sort of mentality is what's needed. So, hey, who'd have thunk it after the opening game? Way more positive about this situation than I was going into it.
And for the match tomorrow night, as we're recording here on Thursday, we just got to listen to the words of Ian Dark.
Go, USA!
Love it. Perfect. All right. Should we play this halftime whistle?
Sure.
Well, now sit around the fires. It's story time with Uncle Blake, which is really to tell you about some of my travels. Usually that's Ron. That's Ron. So it's fun to get to do some travels. Like we said at the beginning of the pod, I got to spend a bit of time in the UK, specifically in Cambridge, and I did do or Cambridge area mostly, and then did a day down in London. The Cambridge experience was really amazing. I will go back to that night watching the Orlando game, watching the England game in Orlando. And so like my second pint, obviously the guys had clocked that we were from the States, and literally every place I was going, I was like draft pools only, and I would like literally work my way, whatever they were, I just start working my way down and trying them, unless I had tried one already and kind of crossed it off the list. There's a bunch on our Untapped if you go to them now. But so this dude is behind the bar, young guy, 20-ish, 22-ish, somewhere in there, 20 to 22, named Kai, really, really cool chap. And he asked me, he was, "Are you from the States?" He's like, are you a football fan? I was like, "Do you mean America?" He goes, yeah, American football. I was like, yeah, because what did he say to me? Like he was, I think like he was into maybe he was in the Patriots, and he had this guy who worked behind the bar with him, shaved head, big dude with like an accent I couldn't place. It was European, but it was not English. And he was like, "Rams, baby." And I went, "Wait, and you like," I was like, "Hey, you know what's cool? I just assumed one of you dudes would say Dallas and I'd have to walk away." And I was like, that's kind of, I'm like, I just figured you'd be like Dallas, Yankees, whatever,
Right.
And so like, we're sitting there chatting, and he's like, "What do you like football here in England?" I was like, "Yes." And I'm, I don't know what the culture's like, because I don't live here, so I've been hesitant to say anything. But yeah, I'm like to out loud. But I've been supporting Arsenal for a long time. And he's like, "Mate, give it." And he like gives me some dap, while the shaved head guy's like, "London's blue, you US wanker." Like, he's like, give me all this crap because he's a big Chelsea fan. And before he say anything, dude, Kai's like, "Hey, shut up." He's like, what did he say? He said, "Shut up. As soon as they keep finding more Russian money, you're going to give all those trophies back anyway." Like, they just start giving it to each other, like back and forth.
That's awesome. So
when I told him we were from the Pennsylvania area, he was asking about some stuff with the Eagles and everything. And I was like, "Well, to be honest, I grew up in North Carolina, so I'm a Panthers fan." He's like, "Oh, but you didn't have a team until like what, 94, 96? I was like, "Whoa, you are like an NFL fan, dude." So
right there.
I met us, but him in the reverse. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like he's a really big American football fan. So, we get our and we get our pints, go back, sit down, and then you could tell that Kai was trying to find an excuse to work over by our table so he could chat some more. So he like goes over to clean some stuff. He's like, "Hey man, what do you think about Young being your like franchise quarterback for the Panthers?" I was like, "Man, I don't know, dude." I was like, we've been great. We've been pretty rough. We managed to win the NFC South, but we were wretched. It felt like I was almost mad we won it because we were terrible. The NFC South was just all bad, And
right.
So we're sitting there chatting about it, or whatever. And my wife is like, "So you're like really into football?" And then we find out like he plays for the university there, because it's Cambridge is really, it's all about schools, man. Cambridge University, it's a bunch of colleges and stuff out there. And he plays for his university's American football team. He plays safety. He plays safety, defensive back. What else? Like some position. He goes, "I know it sounds weird. We bounce around a lot more than I'm sure you guys do." He's like, "Our problem is," our problem is like, we can't find linemen here in England. If you weigh as much as an American lineman, you're just fat, mate. You can't play."
Yeah.
It's like,
That's true. Yeah.
He was, so he said, talks, and then like leaves, comes back a little later, chats more. And so we got God, I can see if I could find it. I got the name of it, because I was like, when is your season? And it fires back up in late October, November. And we're talking about going back and visiting in December. And I was like, "All right, man, we'll come. I will absolutely go watch American football played at university level." And they do promotion and relegation. So I forget which league he says they are when the university there. But it was such a cool, like completely unexpected thing to find. I'd be like, you're like, "What, man? You do what?" And so that was super awesome. And like, Prince Regent, I think was the name of that pub. Great place. The event started off though because like we ended up having an impromptu date night on our first full day there, and we were down in Cambridge, and so my sister was like, "Hey, your kid come back with us and hang out with my kids. Why don't you guys have a night in Cambridge? Catch this train or give us a call if you need a pickup or whatever." And so we were told about a champion of the Thames. A pub in Cambridge that is like super proper local that the Cambridge professors go to on Tuesday or Thursday nights for like trivia night. So we go, and it is like, I don't want to say hole in the wall, but like hole in the wall-ish kind of like, but it shows up on the cambridge.gov.uk things to do in Cambridge site. It's like on page 4, but it's like, this is such a staple of the area. So we go there first. I'm an entertainment theater major. So is my wife. The lady working the bar, we sit at the bar. She is a theater student at university. So we like just have this great experience hanging out with her, working my way through the pulled drafts. We're finding out like what theater and stuff to go see and do. Talking about, we're going to go to Shakespeare's Globe later in the week. And she's just wicked to talk. She's so much fun to talk to. And then she comes at one point, she's like, "You guys don't have Marmite, right?" No, she goes, I'm gonna get something for you. And so she would get like these chips because all they had were bar snacks that were like these pretzel thingies that have Marmite on them, but she bakes them and then squeezes lemon on them or I don't know what she does, but she's like, "It's good, right?" So she just keeps bringing over like weird stuff we do. But the super highlight of that was, and I think I sent you guys this, but there was a pub. I was like, we have to go to this one place for dinner called the Eagle. And we ended up staying at that pub for so long, we almost missed dinner. And I could feel it because when I walked out of that pub, I was like, oh my God, I haven't sat down and had 4 pints in a long time. And when United is drinking those pull drafts, there's barely any carbonation. So they just sling down, dude.
It's good.
Yeah. So we go to the Eagle. So the Eagle is one of Cambridge's oldest inns, dates back to the 14th century. John Wayner's Long for This World says a tavern stood here in the year 1353 with beer for 3 gallons a penny. And this pub, the Eagle, is the place where it was frequented by staff from Cavendish Laboratory, located on Free School Lane for 100 years from 1874 to 1974. The patrons included Francis Crick and James Watson. And on the 20th of February, 1953, Crick and Watson walked into the Eagle and announced, "We've discovered the secret of life." Referring, of course, to the discovery of the double helix structure of DNA. Throughout the years, they dined together here 6 days a week when discussing DNA breakthroughs, although we mustn't forget about Rosalind Franklin and her enormous contribution, because those dingleberries stole her original discovery. She had figured it out about a year ago, but because she was a woman, she did not get proper credit going forward. But so when you go to the pub, they give you this like history pamphlet I took with me. But the cool thing was they have attached to it the Eagles RAF bar. And when you look in this bar, Royal Air Force. So when you look in, so the Eagle Tavern is here and it's like a building attached to it. And it's all old as hell, the whole thing. But you go up to the RAF and you can go into it going through the Eagle or a door on the outside. And when you look from the outside in, I'm trying to think, what's a current touchstone? People have seen like the Captain America movie that's set in World War II and the guys are all in the bar drinking a couple of scenes.
Yeah. Okay.
It looks like that from the outside looking in, right? It's like got that vibe. So then you go in, and so now, aside from the announcement of the discovery of DNA, the Eagle is perhaps best known for the RAF bar. The ceiling is covered in the graffiti of British and American World War II pilots who burned their names and squadron numbers here using cigarette lighters, candles, and lipstick. They include a naked woman drawn in lipstick, and you can check out the map that they gave. I think I sent you guys a picture of that map. So I'll throw it up on the website. But you look up, and it's like, oh, that's still it, because these guys use lighters to burn it in. So I'm like, So Yanks and Brits sat in here like drinking pints and then like, let's go hop in our Spitfires and knock some Nazis out of the sky. Like what? Like just amazing. And then at the bottom of the thing, my wife and I are sitting at this table, and it says, also, we're known for ghost stories. A fire raged through the upstairs bedrooms a few hundred years ago, and a young child unable to open the window was trapped inside and burnt to death. Ever since, we keep the window open, and on occasion when it has been closed, it has brought bad luck. Or has mysteriously opened itself. We also have a gentleman sitting on table 4. Warning, if he doesn't like you, he'll spill your drink. I look down at the table, and we're totally sitting at table 4. So my wife was like, hey, we're cool. We're not from here, but you had a bunch of folks from the U.S. in here hanging out. They helped out way back when. We cool. So we never had any beer get spilled. But like that was like the kickoff to the experience. It was friggin' amazing. We did a bunch of stuff. It's one of those things where like, you know, you forget how young we are because every corner you turn, there's something there, especially in Cambridge when we're like, someone's like, that's the apple tree. I'm like, what apple tree? It's that Sir Isaac Newton's apple fell from. Well, not technically. It's grown from a cutting from at his house. And you're like, what? Like, this is crazy, man. You know, and walking past gates that are like, this university founded in 1512. And you're just like, man, we are babies.
When you compare to the history of the world, absolutely.
There was a cool old church that opened that like said like later in the day, and it was like, services will be later tonight, but if you just want to walk in and check out the church, feel free. And I'm like, it's an old church. I want to check it out. So we go in. It's not as big as some of the other churches, but I can tell it's old. You go in, cool wood carvings, and you're like, this thing is from the 1500s. But there's a pamphlet that's up front that's like I think it's the oldest one in Cambridge. And I was like, well, the 1500s, it must be close. And then it's like, nope, you got to go outside and look at the west or north corner. And the north corner tower is completely different looking. It's like, it's squarer and it almost looks something from Assassin's Creed or something like from the vaguely Middle Eastern
architecture.
Well, yeah, because it's from the freaking Anglo-Saxons from like 800, 980, and you're just like, oh my God. But like a priory stood here though from like 400 or 500. You're just, man, like just, you know, everywhere you turned. I could have we did end up spending 2 different days in Cambridge, but I still could have spent more days just walking around going, what's this? Let me find out. Holy crap. Here's another thing that'll blow your mind. But I will end it with, as the recommendation that you guys gave on the pod, I went and did the Arsenal tour.
I'm so glad you did that, dude. That's awesome.
So again, being a theater person, we started our day in London at the Globe. I took a tour that was phenomenal, learned crazy things about Shakespeare I didn't know, like him and these actors tore down the theater, sailed across the water and built what's called the Globe because they stole the other theater. Stuff I didn't know about. It was just amazing. Awesome experience. And easily wept about 4 or 5 different times during that experience out of like, oh my God. I mean, my wife and I, like, we did Shakespeare together. We met in college. Like, it just like, this was awesome experience. And then I easily wept 4 or 5 more times when I went to the Emirates later. After. Yep. But I think the thing that struck me, and while we're talking about it, I'll pull this out. I'll take off the Cambridge scarf for a moment.
Another scarf here. Let's go.
So straight from Emirates Stadium, because I thought this is neat. So this is blue, dark blue with a light blue with a thin red line. And on the other side, in the Highbury style, it says Arsenal. And that's because this is the London scarf, so it has the city colors of London in it. So to my understanding, and it's got the old Highbury crest and everything. Okay. This is the one you got to get there.
Interesting.
Is my understanding. I could have that wrong, but I thought it was kind of cool. I was like, well, I could get, because, you know, like I can get the regular scarf here too. And you can, but I was like, this is cool. Yeah. Like it's different.
Absolutely.
So like you guys have said, that the experience at the stadium was amazing. And for a self-guided tour, the personality of like the people doing your audio are phenomenal.
Yeah. Did you do the audio thing?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
So phenomenal. And because you got a little screen on your little data pad or whatever you're carrying, like it's easy to switch through and listen, but it's wild how you're on your own and you turn the corner into the director's box. You're like, oh my God. And the stadium just opens up.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Isn't that the coolest thing? You're like going up and you go up this like staircase and there's these bust of people and like, that's neat. And you get up the staircase and then there's like a reception area almost.
Yeah.
Then you go into like the hospitality or the VIP area. And then you kind of turn and you're like, is that the outside? And then you walk out there and you're like, holy mackerel, it's there. And you're 50-yard line, like you're dead center. And
it's like, hey, by the way, because you saw the outside and ran straight to it, you should turn around. There's the Invincibles trophy. Yep. That they give, and you're like, oh my God, you know, because you just see that pitch and you see the cannon on the seat. You're like, holy crap, man. It's just amazing experience when we walked. So I got to go to Arsenal. That's amazing. You get to walk into the dressing rooms and all the stuff. And it is truly
manager's room, the whole nine.
Yeah, it's truly amazing. And obviously the attitude still, people are in a good mood. The people we met that are also on the tour, amazing. You can go to the press area. And this family was right after us, and we watched them be so funny filming their presser, and their like little 10-year-old son.
That was the one that Phil and I did.
Yeah. So they're sitting at the long table, and the 10-year-old son is in this corner. I'm like, what's he waiting for? And he walks into the middle and goes, sorry, y'all, I'm late. What's up? Like he was like they to the hill. It was awesome. And so with this family, we all kept running into each other and everything. And it was funny, because we had a blast with them. But on the way in, what struck me, because someone was like, so what was the thing that you surprised you the most? The access was surprising. I knew we were going to get it based on looking online and what you and our buddy Phil had experienced. But like, I think the thing that's my big, like, this was really surprising was we were down in London. We did the Globe. Then we walked over to the Tower of London. And then I decided, I was like, you know what? Let's get a cab. It'll be kind of an expensive, but let's get a cab just so we can see more of London on our last day on our way to the stadium, right? So we take the cab, and you hit this spot eventually where you no longer feel like you're in London, the city, quote unquote, that you see in movies all the time. But you're like in a neighborhood, like local shops and stuff. And I'm like, oh, we're in Islington. I was like, man, it's cool. Like my wife's like, this is my kind of jam. Like I'd want to live here. This is just a cool city vibe, I'm like, yeah, there's the stadium. And I think coming from America, just because of our stadiums are further out, they're not in the middle of everything. You have the rare like Fenway or, Chicago White Sox where it's literally in the city is a rare thing for us. They're out. You have to go drive to experience it. Right. And to feel like you were just in this neighborhood, and then the stadium that you see on TV a million times pops on your FIFA when you're playing, or EAFC, and you're just like, oh man, this really is like part of the community. And
it doesn't. It's not even one of those like stadiums like we have here in Orlando City where you see it walking down and it kind of sticks out. It's
exactly.
Kind of like at the end of the street with a above ground train that rides to behind it if you're looking at it, but rides to the side of it. And then all of a sudden you kind of come around, like when Phil and I did it, when we went to the game the first time, we did the tour, the time after the game, you kind of come around to it. And that it was game, it was match ice, there's people everywhere. Then you come around to it, and then you see the size of it. Yeah. And you're like, holy mackerel.
And it does, it reveals itself like we would do in a theme park when you're designing, like coming through the building, so you don't see the big castle until the best moment.
You don't see it walking, like the sight lines are apartments and buildings and that sort of thing. But they're not high rises, right? They're not like downtown. They're just normal 2-3 story type buildings. So your sight line doesn't see anything but buildings. You don't see a stadium that's like poking over top of when you look in the sky. And that's what you're talking about, where it just kind of reveals itself.
And of course, you've seen it on TV if you've never been, but the design stands out. So you would expect to see that. And I was just like,
right, absolutely.
Oh, we're there. Like I was totally shocked.
And you also walk by the old Highbury Stadium as well.
You do. And so I don't know if do you know what the deal is with that now?
I remember.
This wasn't part of the tour,
but there is a deal with it.
Yeah, This wasn't part of the tour. I just was simply on the tour. It mentioned that this stadium is only 5 minutes from the Highbury Stadium because it was important that we stayed part of the community, right? And so then I'm like looking it up, and I see the Highbury, and I'm like, oh, it is nearby. There's a garden on the pitch. What was the pitch? Yeah. And so then I zoom in and find out, because they didn't like. I like this, that instead of raising it to the ground or turning it into a museum, it's the Highbury Apartments. They made sure there was housing as they moved into this new spot with the stadium, and so people could live there. And when we were driving up, I was like, oh, look at all the red shirts now. I wonder if it's a bunch of tourists and folks like myself coming in, And then you're like, oh, no, it's not. Here's a dad and his kid on a jog, but they're wearing Arsenal kits. He's got an old one. Kid's got a newer one. Like, you're like, oh man, this is part of the community. Like, absolutely. And after the tour, we came back out to that front entrance. We decided I said, I want to walk around the entire stadium. So I don't know if you and Phil did that, but like,
oh yes,
but yeah. So that when you go to what I would call the backside, you have those two bridges. They just go to homes. In fact, it's the famous homes you probably saw in the videos of all the parade, where like the guy chanting with the baby out the baby in the window, waving at the crowd and stuff like that, like and all the red smoke. But I'm like, oh, I recognize all those. But it's like, but this just. So all those people just come out of their homes and just walk right. I'm like, this has to. I want to do this on a game day. But I was completely surprised by how much of the part of the community it is, and I think that just comes from what I'm used to with American stadiums.
Yeah, I mean, the stadiums are so. I mean, that's one of the bigger ones in England, obviously, but. You think of your big stadiums here between Kansas City and, obviously your SoFis, and
Michigan, right? Like we get the,
Ann Arbor and those sort of things, but they're still a part of the community. Just finding the space now, where to do it.
Right.
But in England, it's not finding the space; they're integrated into the space, and they were there before half the crap was built around.
Exactly. That's the way to put it. It's like they're integrated into it. Like
I'll say I'm glad you did that. When you go back again, do Cambridge United Stadium tour.
Oh, I got it. Are you kidding? Absolutely.
Luton Stadium tour, right?
Yep.
Something because it's going to get a different feel. Like one of the things that I appreciate. I know I've said 1,000 times in the pods, but I'm glad we went and saw a game at Palace first. Completely different stadium vibe, seating, you name it, to then what seeing a game at the Emirates was like, and then seeing that stadium, and then even going up and seeing Old Trafford. You're seeing Old Trafford which has been there for years in this older stadium, to the Emirates, which is not young anymore, but fairly new within the past 20 some years, right? And the difference of they're about the same size, but the difference in how they are. From a newer stadium to a stadium that's had renovations and been there for a bit, to even then seeing a Palace stadium, literally Palace. We're walking by a bar, we're walking by neighborhoods, and then you see it. You see this light coming from, at night, this light coming from like, oh, that has to be the stadium. Like we weren't on our phones like, oh, where's the stadium at? We're like, oh no, okay, we'll just follow the crowd, and we'll like, I'm sure we're gonna run into the stadium. Like, okay, I see a light. Like, nope, oh, there's the stadium. Like it's there. And it's wild how they are integrated in as fabrics of the society and fabrics of the neighborhood. Not we're going to clear off this spot of land, or we're going to move somebody out of apartment homes to then build this.
Exactly.
It's a different vibe because it's been integrated for so long. Which in some cities and those sort of things, that that's how it is, right? Your
sure,
Ann Arbors, your Knoxvilles, those sort of. It's been there for years and years, and it's been built around, and it feels more like a fabric of society there. But yeah, it's a different vibe over there for sure.
Yeah, but Nat, more so today, it's like, you want to go see the Braves? Well, the Braves' new stadium, which is not new anymore, but it ain't in Atlanta. You got to drive out. Do you know what I mean? It's more like that. The last thing
stadium is really in Dallas, right? It's in Fort Worth.
Exactly. The last thing I'll say was, speaking of different stadiums and stuff. Like I said, a family that moved to the area, and so they took us out. The weather was iffy. It's England. It's going to rain. But there was a day like, let's go to the beach. And we kind of like did some research for what beach to go to and what trains are easy to get on. So we're going on this train to get us up to beach, a couple hours away. So we got 3 kids with us, and we're, getting snacks, taking care of the kids, whatever. And there's one spot where we have to do a switch over, and we're like driving up, and I'm not driving up somewhere on the train, and I'm not really paying attention to it says stopping at Woolsbury or, whatever next. You're like, whatever. None of these mean to me. But then it's like, next stop, Norwich. My family say, hey, this is the one we're going to, I'm like, Norwich Station. Is that like Norwich? Like, and then I'm like, that's the Barclay. That's the supporters section. That's Norwich FC. Holy crap. Okay. How long do we have? We got a 20 minutes.
That's where Josh Sargent played.
Well, they were like, we have 20 minutes until we have to switch trains. Like, we have to get off this one, and then in 20 minutes the next train comes. I'm like, it's an 8-minute walk. I got off the train. I'm like,
Did I hurt my ass?
I'm like, you got the kid? I was like, yeah. And I'm just like, I just power walk my way out. So completely different from London. That was like my second day or first day. That was early on. So what you just spoke to about like other stadiums and stuff, I have to go back and go to a Norwich game because when I stepped out of this old, train station, Norwich is completely different. It's lower. Like some of the businesses might be third story, maybe, but like you looked across and you're just seeing regular folks, regular town. And so like I hurry my butt around. When I get around the corner, I can see the stadium. It does rise a bit above because these aren't big buildings,
right.
Not high above, mind you, but you see it, and so I haul my butt down there, just get a picture that I sent you guys going, cause I didn't know I was going to do that. I was hoping the merch store was open, but it was on the other side of the stadium. I would never have gotten back to my train in time because otherwise I was going to be like, I'm on a vacation. I need a scarf. I don't care which one. Give it to me. Go.
Yeah, exactly.
But look at that picture. And then I'm walking back and I'm like, I could see in my head the crowd coming to the stadium, and then like this pub after this place. And I was like, I want to go here. And I'd say that was about an hour or so away from where we were staying. But it just was cool because it was another glimpse of like sort of a footballing area, but the vibe was completely different because it wasn't a city.
100%.
And I would love to go to I'd love to go to a big thing. I'd love to go to a smaller club in London because they're still storied. Like going to Wembley, see Wembley FC play or Wimbledon play. But like, and then I want to go to Cambridge. But like this was just, I don't know. Norwich just felt like such a normal town, for lack of a better term. And I was like, okay, that would be on the list to go see.
Absolutely.
So man, it was a good trip, man. All it made me want to do is spend more money somehow and go back during the football season and just try to see what I can see.
But like, I would want to, I've seen 2 Premier League games now. I would want to see championship games. I would want to see League One games, League Two games, non-league game.
Oh, we have to go to.
That's what I want to see. I want to see a game in each league.
I told our friend of the pod, Lee, I was like, yeah, we come back in December. I'd really like to come up and see a National League North game. He's like, in December when it's so cold.
Oh my God. Yeah. Sorry, Lee.
I'm like,
I'll come back in March and see you.
Yeah, I don't know. But I was like, I don't know, man. Sitting there freezing your butt off, drinking that bone marrow stuff and having a pie. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
We definitely got to see Darlow play, though. Absolutely.
But brilliant time. You were spot on with the recommendation. That was worth doing. I felt bad taking the time. I was so happy
you sent that photo because I was at work and I was driving around, or I was driving out to Vito. That's where we get some of our clay that we use and that sort of stuff. So I'm driving out there. I get there, before I go inside, I see some text and I see your picture out in front of the Emirates, and I was like, I'm so glad that you got out there and went, dude. That's so cool.
Oh, and it was cool. We got to take a picture. Obviously, the Premier League trophy, annoyingly, will be there today. It's there today. It's the first day, but we did get to take a picture with the Women's Champions Club from FIFA, the new FIFA tournament was there, which was like awesome to take a picture with. But I was like, of course it'll be there in like half a week after I'm there. It's fine. I'm
just glad you got to do the tour and just see like the stadium itself.
Oh, it was amazing, and proper tour, and the Globe Theater, great way to start the day there and then end the day. Speaking of pubs, at the Globe Theater, I will say, to backtrack just a second, to get lunch before we went to go to Arsenal, we got out of the Globe and there was a pub nearby that is the only one that survived the London fire of 1674 or 75, whichever it was. And it was a block from Shakespeare's Theater and the only one that stood during his time. And I was like, well, we have to go. You go in
something from there,
and you feel like it's. I mean, you're like, oh, this is old. Like you would have you couldn't have walked into some of the rooms; they're too short.
Best. They don't have very big people over there.
No, best Scotch egg I ever had in my life. There though, it was.
Oh yeah.
So I'd like to imagine Shakespeare was eating a greasy Scotch egg and having a pint and writing a play over there at some point. But hell yeah, awesome. It was awesome. to England was a damn delight. Absolutely a delight. And my little nieces and nephews, every now and then they go, "Mommy," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's happening."
They already got it.
It's happening.
They already got it going.
Oh, I love it. All right, mate. Remarkably doing well on time here. It is that time to get us on over to do a little bit of World Cup, LeagueA's roundup.
All right. Start the clock, my friend.
That's right. 2-minute drill. Let's do this.
2-minute drill. So I'll kick us off. Man, it's good to be 40-some years old, ain't it, Blake?
Jeez. This dude.
That's what Cape Verde's 40-year-old goalkeeper, Vazinha, is saying to himself as a few days ago now that he had the game of his life with 7 saves as he helped propel the second lowest seed team in the tournament to a 0-0 draw. Mind you, it's a draw with 0 goals scored. But you know who it was against? Spain. Yes, that's Spain, one of the predominant powerhouses and favorites of the World Cup. Just talk about a result.
Rank
man.
number 2.
Wow.
Number 2 rank. Cape Verde, 67.
Heavy favorite to win the whole thing. And I got to watch it, or I got to have it on my screen at work and watch a majority of this. And you're like, oh my, it felt like Spain's just not going to score. Like Cape Verde's just putting everything out there from defender to goal to the goalie to just there was. Do you know the stat that is wild that I saw? And I know you won't appreciate the stat. Cape Verde had more possession against Spain than Arsenal did against PSG. By 1%.
By 1%, that's brilliant.
Like that, but that's how one-sided the game was in this, and they get through. And what was a draw and a clean sheet felt like an absolute win from a first-time team in the tournament to their first point in the tournament.
And you see, he went from like 30,000 Instagram followers to like 4 million overnight.
He did, yeah. He went from like, he had that amount to like 7 million Instagram followers.
And his mom couldn't come to visit. The visas were too expensive.
Yes, but the U.S. is trying to get
no,
her in
didn't try, buddy. Let's see. Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic senator, said, "Thank you, Secretary Marco Rubio." This is his Twitter. U.S. State Department officials, the government of Cabo Verde, and FIFA for working together to make it happen. She will be seeing her son play.
That's awesome.
Isn't that so cool? Yeah.
Very cool.
Oh, man. That was a great story right out the gate. Boy, have the Scandinavian countries gotten off to hot starts as Premier League stars have shined. Alexander Isak and Victor Gyökeres both provided goals and assists in Sweden's 5-1 romping of Tunisia, while in his World Cup debut, Erling Haaland provided a pair of first-half goals in Norway's 4-1 win over Iraq. So the real question is, who did it better? Graham Potter, head coach of Sweden, God, that's still so wild, or Norway's team photo prior to the World Cup? Okay, the Viking, they win the photos. The Viking photo.
They win, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And if you have any question of Haaland's nationality, like when he's done up, you're like, that's yes.
Well, and he's also I don't know if anybody watched the game, or I'm sure most of you that listen to this pod watch the game, or at least the highlights. He's wearing Brute Holland on it, Braut, because he's taking because one of it's Brute's either his mother's maiden name and Holland's his father's name. So it's their surnames. It's each of their surnames on the back, which is a Norwegian tradition to do. Not everybody will do it, but he's doing it in this
And
tournament.
what did his daddy do?
What do you mean?
Know? Holland's
used to be a defender.
Yeah, 1994 World Cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so like this
in the U.S.
Yeah,
how wild is that?
Yeah, and it's something like 3 or 4 players there are children of World Cup players. It's the first time it's ever happened like this. But it's like, but there's a few of them.
And then Sweden's in a tough group, so that was a big win for them. They got to take on Japan and the Dutch next. Isak looked good. Victor Gyökeres looked good.
He always looks good with the national team.
For Tunisia, they may have lost. And they may have lost their head coach, but they have gained. You know how they have gained, Blake?
How's that?
They have hired quite possibly the most handsome man in management.
Yeah,
Herb Renard, who was formerly of God, what was it? South Africa. South Africa and a few other teams, Ivory Coast maybe. I don't know.
So
but
they fired their manager and then
hired the most handsome manager they possibly could find.
After the
that's a win for that team.
But after the first,
for that country alone.
But after the first game
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
But
you hired.
He's a sexy man.
You hired GQ's top model for management. That's a win. Baby.
That was a weird one. I didn't do the stats to check how often that's happened in the past.
There's only one other person you can hire that was anywhere near that, and that is Rob Edwards.
But yes, Graham Potter did a good job.
Yeah, whatever.
I think Graham Potter also has a really good set of players with him.
He does.
So tough to say. Sweden. Well, we'll get to predictions. I know they're
at least one of those third place teams getting out of it. You don't think Tunisia's going to get out of this group, but we'll see.
No.
Curacao won. Yes, Curacao, the lowest ranked nation in the tournament with a mere population of 200,000, got their first ever World Cup goal in their first ever World Cup appearance. And prior to the hydration break, they were on top of the footballing world as they were level with the powerhouses of Germany 1-1. But after the hydration break, Germany put in 6 other goals. So the final score was 7-1. But despite that, what a moment to be remembered forever by all Curacaos and the fans of the beautiful game.
The videos of their reactions were great. I had to run back and make sure I got a picture with the Havertz kit in his spot at the dressing room when that goal, because I think it was that day. I think that game was going on when we were on the tour.
That's, you listen to the roar from the crowd, from those traveling supporters when that goal went in, and for that moment they were level with Germany. It was like, oh my God, life is good. Hydration break happens, and then it's like a whole other game, and Germany just.
Well, I will say, despite controversies over hydration break, I don't think that would have. I'm pretty sure we'd be telling the same story without a hydration break. Yeah.
But it's fun to blame it though. On
it is fun to blame that, but still, what an amazing. This one, that's one of them. Their feel good stories.
All right, so me next. France were 3-1 winners over Senegal with Kylian Mbappe scoring a pair of goals, while a fellow by the name of Lionel Messi in his 6th World Cup appearance scored a hat trick for Argentina as they beat Algeria 3-0 the other night. And then just yesterday, Harry Kane in England's opener, was that yesterday or the day before now? I can't remember. But anyways, and England's opener also put on a display with another pair of goals as the Three Lions got past a lively Croatia team via a 4-2 scoreline. So listen, all stars are on display because Haaland put in 2, Messi put in 3, Mbappe put in 2, Kane put in 2. The Kane and Mbappe happened on the same day, and then Messi that night, or I don't know. But anyways, they're all putting on. Yeah, they're all putting in goals, and I don't. Are there any surprises here to talk about? I don't think so. I mean,
no. Just because we're talking about these 3 players doesn't mean they're always going to score like this out the gate. I mean, that was the thing to talk about, to be honest.
Yeah, but the 30-some years old, for Messi to score a hat-trick in that game and have it 3-0,
ostensibly
insane.
too.
His first goal was the best. Now, I don't know if he should have been on the pitch after that.
He should have had a red.
Yeah,
that was a paid by Apple.
He didn't even get carded.
That was a paid by Apple TV. MLS should have been a penalty on, but we're not going to let him Messi. That was. Yeah.
But he got his other 2. He stayed on the pitch, so whatever. And then we're not talking about it here, but Portugal ended up drawing with Congo.
Yeah,
and it's kind of a surprise because Portugal are dark horses. They're my dark horse team, but Ronaldo. I didn't get a chance to watch the game, but apparently, I don't know if I think that's all he did was watch the game because apparently he was invisible in that game. and you didn't even know he was on the pitch. So not all the stars are out to play so far, but we are only one game into the group, so we shall see how the other games here go. But yeah, a lot of goals.
Oh, Scotland. The flower of Scotland. Oh, my God. Welcome back to the World Cup. And who other than John McGinn, 29 minutes in, gave the travelling Tartan Army a moment that they have been waiting 28 long years for. The Scottish held on to a 1-0 result in Boston, drank all the beer in town, but only barely, as the Haitians went all out at the Scots for a full 90 minutes. What's more impressive, the Tartan Army marched to Fenway, they're in stadium singing and chanting at the Red Sox game the next day, or literally draining Boston of beer.
It's not the Boston Tea Party; it's the Boston Beer Party for Scotland.
And not for nothing, guys. They drink in Boston, so to have housed the beer of that city is fairly impressive.
Absolutely, and if I included the Instagram links to the march in this, and when I first saw the march, I was like, "Oh, that's them." They're doing a march into the game that day. No. They're doing a march to Fenway that day.
Yeah, because they're like,
doing a march after they won into the baseball game being played at Fenway.
And then they I wonder how many of them got mad when they found out you can't drink after the 7th inning stretch.
Oh, that must have been travesty. But you know what? They were singing, they were chanting, they were dancing. It's the likes that, like, you see like Sox fans, they're dancing along as well, and they're taking photos. I can't even imagine. I don't know if we've heard anything from the players out there, maybe in the local like Boston and that sort of market. But what the feel was just listening to that from all of these Sox fans that had these jerseys that had they were blue and they were Red Sox, had the Red Sox emblem on one side of the Scottish flag on the other. So it must have been some sort of deal for them or something like that where you got a free. But it is brilliant. If you get a chance, just go on Instagram to search all this stuff. It is so much fun.
Scotland single-handedly being the best ambassadors for what the World Cup can bring you. All right, and we're probably treated to the match of the tournament thus far, for the Dutch took on Japan on Sunday. And boy, did they exchange haymakers as they played out a fun 2-2 draw with all 4 goals happening in the second half. Tight as it was with even draw, but even more so the stadium and locker room. I love it. It pops up every year. I watch Japanese influencers talking about, like, every year, every time we really go viral for us cleaning things up. So this was one of those that when you are trying to explain to a newbie soccer person why a draw can be so good and entertaining, this is textbook.
Yeah, just turn to that page in the book and show it to them. Absolutely.
Yeah, because you're looking at the greater season, or in this case, tournament, and it's a different way of looking at things. It's still going to be the thing that we have to drag people along with a bit, but man, what a match! Like,
yeah,
and Japan, they look tactically very smart.
They're oh God, what's the word that Tony used? It wasn't Tony, maybe it was somebody, but they're just so I can't think of it, but they're so just like militant oriented and I cannot think of the damn word, but they're just so in adherence with each other and so tight along the rules and the formation and there's a word I'm trying to find, I can't think of it, but
they're just efficient.
They're just like organized in that fashion that they play that way from being just so militant and in the same structure, how they move the line and how it comes up and how they're able to score a corner being the smallest people on the pitch over a pretty big Dutch team to then draw the game in the dying moments to fight back for a second time.
Yeah, it wasn't like the one of the commentators was like, Are they really big enough to do this? And then they score on a freaking header. Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. Like, oh my gosh, off of headers, how they got back into this and how they drew it at the dying moments. Like, just so well done.
So here's where I'm going to throw out my little Japan thing. Have you heard about the Japan restaurant story with this one guy? So there's a Twitter handle called @Japan_Nobunaga, and it's Honest Japan, honest perspectives on Japan culture, traditions, and daily life. Well, the guy that runs this has come to America for the World Cup. And forgive me, other places have already talked about this, so you may have already heard it, and I don't care because I think it's awesome. Can I read you his tweet, Ferris?
Absolutely.
USA, a Mexican restaurant. We had not yet ordered anything, and the food was already arriving. Chips, salsa, unrequested, free. I stopped the waiter. We have not earned these. They just come with the table, man. They come with the table. In my land, hospitality is a debt. Every gift creates an obligation, weighed carefully, returned in the proper season with interest of feeling. Here, the gift arrives before you even proven that you can pay for dinner. This is not an appetizer. This is a declaration. We trust you. Eat. I ate with the gravity of the moment that it deserved. And then I must report this calmly. The basket emptied and a new one appeared. Did we? Refill, the waiter said. It's bottomless. Bottomless. They have wells of salsa. The supply lines of this nation are beyond anything my ancestors imagined.
Brilliant. I had not seen that. That is awesome.
It's my favorite thing that has come out of this.
Thank you for X for opening up the how many characters that you could put into a tweet because you wouldn't have been able to do that on the old Twitter.
Freaking brilliant! That's my favorite thing of this World Cup so far. Actually,
so the word I was trying to find is discipline. Japan has so much discipline in how they play, and yeah.
Love it. All right, shall I get us quickly over to our predictions?
Sure, let's knock them out. All right, so we're going to do a golden boot. So who's going to score the most goals? You got to think about who's going to advance, who's going to continue to play, because that plays into it. And also, you don't get a lot of most goals. What was it? The person we're going to talk about here next, James Rodriguez, had 6 or 7 goals, and that was it. Thomas Mueller won one year with 5 goals.
Yep,
the golden boot. So you don't really go through these things. But the next thing we're going to do is the James Rodriguez transfer player of the tournament, because if you remember that 2014 World Cup, where he just kind of exploded. He then got a move to Real Madrid that summer. Following. Yeah. So who kind of player on your radar there is going to kind of gain that transfer interest fee? And then the dark horse team, Ron had chosen Ecuador on the last pot. I had chosen Portugal, so Blake will need yours. And then who wins the 2026 World Cup?
All right, love it.
You want to go?
What's first?
Golden boot.
I think the golden boot, based on the team around him and the people that can serve up excellent assists, I think Erling Haaland is going to debut and walk away with the golden boot.
2 goals already did the name. I'll go with another 2-goal scorer, but I think they're going to advance further, and that's going to be France, and that's going to be Kylian Mbappe.
I think Norway could go far, though.
I would like to see that, but yeah, we'll see. All right, who's your James Rodriguez transfer player of the tournament? Do you got one?
This is going to be really stupid. It's the same person. You go like, that makes no sense. Erling Haaland is worth a lot of money.
Okay.
But I think this is going to sound stupid, but I don't care. It's the feeling I have. He has amazing stats at Man City. And there are times when clubs manage to make sure that he can't get the ball or if he doesn't score, like they can't really win, right? It was kind of how it'd been the last year or two. But I always kind of had a question of like, can this guy play somewhere else? Like, can he, like there are people who are amazing because of the team that surrounds him. And that's, I think, a fair statement to make, right? I get the feeling watching Manor right now that he is going to be beyond a superstar no matter where he goes. And I think when these 115 charges come up, Man City's got to make some money and sell some people. I think
is that where you're going with that?
I think he could smash and maybe ruin football for a few years records. Because I'm not saying he's a fluke at Man City. Do you understand what I'm saying though? Does it make sense? The right chemistry of who he's with made me think, okay, that's why this guy's doing that. And now I'm watching him just like, no, man. I think.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I did this question because of obviously Hamas Ariz with people I kind of known, but kind of then blew up.
Sure, exactly.
But you think of right? You don't think of where you came from. It was because I wanted to put this in there because I didn't know how it would go. Right? You can say, Bruno Fernandes is going to his transfer fee and those sort of things, right? But
yeah,
okay. The odds of them moving aren't great. The fees, killing Mbappe. We know he went from PSG to Real Madrid, but to look at it in that fashion of, I think what you're going from is more. Does Erling Haaland solidify himself as the best number 9 in the world?
I think.
And then what? And then what? Because of that, if he proves that, if he scores, 8 goals in this game in this tournament, or 10 goals in this tournament, and he can do it on both the club level at the highest stage, and then do it on the world stage at the highest level. What is then the transfer fee for that player? You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. I know that's, like you said, it's weird. It's not going to a guy who was not as known to. It's taking someone who is well known, but I think it's in my brain. I feel like this guy he's gonna be a phenomenon for a while.
Yeah,
I think Real Madrid would probably drop Mbappe and take Haaland in a heartbeat if they could.
I agree,
but that's just down to how some of the things are happening.
Maybe Jose will.
Oh my God, I didn't think about that. Jeez.
All right. I think I mentioned him on the last pod with Ron, and he's being currently talked about to maybe going to Liverpool, which I would not like to see. But Jan Diamante of Ivory Coast, the 19-year-old RB Leipzig player, which I got a black ice card from the Bundesliga this year. I automatically put it in the sleeve and stuff. That could be worth some money. But anyways, his first World Cup at 19 years old, first game, not on the score sheet, but most touches with 80, most chances created with 5, most duels won 11, most progressive carries 15, most passes in the attacking third 22.
That's a really good shout. And RP Leipzig is a club that would sell on to make some money.
Yeah, and his transfer right now is looking like it could go north of 100+ million. And Liverpool, I think, lead the way in possibly trying to pay that. And he had that going into the tournament because, like I said, I think we talked about it on a little bit on the last pod. But to then come out and have those kind of stats in that game where he was running the show, and how Ivory Coast via actually an Amad Diallo goal late got away with that was a large part for what he was doing and just terrorizing that Ecuador squad. So that's my player to kind of watch out for here.
That's a really good shout.
All right, dark horse team. We already had ours. Again, mine was Portugal. Ron's was Ecuador. Blake, who do you got?
I'm gonna go with Japan on this one.
Okay, that's a popular one as well.
I'm gonna say from the tactical, what did you say? Discipline alone. Yeah. You could I don't know, a bit of in parallels to Arsenal's advancement this past season, but just being very tactically sound and doing exactly what they need to win. Not big scoring games or anything like that, but just win. I think that'd be my dark horse. Look, my heart wants to say Scotland, but my brain in the dark horse says Japan.
Fair.
Sweden was up there too. I won't lie, but I think I'm going to go with Japan.
Okay. All right. So who's going to win the 2026 World Cup? Is it going to be?
Come on, man. This is England's year to bring this thing back home.
I think so.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
And
I hope
that come out of your mouth. That was an interesting one.
I hope it's scoring 15.
I hope it's England.
I hope it's by scoring 15 to 20 effing set pieces with Arsenal players. So that everybody, one of my friends from England tried to give me crap for my picture of Arsenal, and I was like, I hope you win a World Cup with an Arsenal player winning, getting set pieces.
Listen, I that would be hysterical, and then for England to win it on our 250th
Right?
USA anniversary would be even crazier.
Exactly. There's a lot of storyline there.
I think we want the USA to win the whole thing. That'd be great. The odds are not our favor. In fact, you could probably call them a dark horse team if you really wanted to. England's up there, but I think England's probably in the second tier. If you're thinking about teams that can win the World Cup, your first tier is your Spain, France, Argentinas, and then I'd go down into your Germany's, your Italy, or Italy's not even in it. Damn, England's, and Brazil's in that next tier. So England's not a bad shout. And out of those two tiers and those 6 teams that I just named, England would be the team that I would want to win. However, I think it's going to be France. They're just stacked. Their attack is just nasty. They're just top to bottom. There's not a name on that roster that a top club in the world wouldn't take at any position. And I think they came very close last World Cup in that crazy game that Argentina pulled out where Mbappe scored a hat trick in that game. And I think Messi scored 2 in that finals, and Argentina went on to win from that extra time save there by Martinez. But I just think, they won it the year before, or the World Cup before that, so 2018. Went to the finals that following year, and we're on 8 years from now, and I don't think they've gotten any worse in terms of player pool, the talent, the formation, the coach, the attacking, you name it. So I'm going to go France wins it all.
Nice. Well, France-England final would be fun.
Ooh, that would be fun. That would be enjoyable.
It's a lot of blood there. A lot of bad blood there, man.
Well, that's most European teams are going to get that in over the various.
Well, after spending some time there,
battles for land and that sort of thing
last week, and that was one thing I didn't get. I wanted to get was I never poked my head in like a sporting store to like snag an England kit or scarf. So I should have done that while I was there.
Yeah, no, I didn't grab any from the game last week, but I did grab for like $15, which is a little expensive, but
I would have absolutely grabbed a Scotland thing if we had been up in Scotland. Though I'd have brought all that back.
The program from the Florida series.
Oh,
for England,
sweet.
Which is kind of cool. I was like, you know what? If England do advance, and they do have a lot of player pool and the talent, and it's kind of more of like a World Cup preview than it is anything. Because it talks obviously a lot about England, talks a lot about Costa Rica, but talks about a lot of the teams inside. It's just kind of this Florida tournament. And it's a fun program because it's more like it's a book with pictures, your recaps on each players. I mean, look at that. You got, each player has their own
that's nice
file for England and that sort of thing. But we'll see how the tournament goes. And that has been your World Cup LeagueA's roundup.
I'll give you a little tag because Ron just texted us. The Canadian midfielder Ismail Kone suffered a fractured fibula and tibia in his lower left leg during the match against Qatar. With Canada, he was stretchered off the field. Severe pain is set to undergo surgery. Injury will rule him out for the remainder of the World Cup. Well, yes, I believe it will. Damn.
That's brutal. And they won 6-0 today?
We didn't even talk about Canada and former Orlando City star.
Yeah, no, he got a clean sheet and shutout. Now, who is that Canada play today?
They played Bosnia Herzegovina, and then they played.
They drew 1-1 in their Qatar today.
Oh yeah, today that's where he broke his leg. Yeah, the Qatar match.
Yeah, and there was 2 red cards, but our boy Kyle Larin got on the score sheet again. 2 goals. Jonathan David got himself a hat trick. Some guy by the name of Saliba. I don't think it's
Nathan. Nathan Saliba.
Nathan Saliba. But yeah, they won their second game, Canada. So a draw and a win, pretty much. They're going to probably go through.
Now that's one thing you didn't mention. And before we're signing off the pod, Ron's not here. It's a lot of red cards for the World Cup.
There has been a good bit, not a great bit. There was 2 today, a Bosnia Herzegovina one in the game before that.
The opening of the World Cup
opening of the World Cup. Yeah.
Can I remind you of a stat as to why this is happening?
Go ahead.
1 in every 12 of every 2026 World Cup managers has been sacked by Chelsea.
Yeah.
It's the first thing I thought of when I saw the report about all the red cards. I was like, well, we do know 1 in every 12 managers the World Cup has been sacked by Chelsea. So I can't wait to do the stats at the end and see how many of them line up that way.
Very fair point.
Oh, man. All right, this was a fun one.
Absolutely.
Beers the Pod from my journeys out to England from Cambridge Brew Board, Cambridge Brewing. I had their awesome Checkum 8 Pilsner, which was flipping delicious in my Brews Banana cup.
Oh, yeah. Such an obnoxious cup. From Toll Road Brewing here in Ocoee, Florida, the Sensei Japanese lager, rice lager from Toll Road. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm just about done with the 32-ounce growlers.
Always a good brewery. Ferris, do you have a Zlatan quote that's not probably from your book? I assume it's from...
Not from the book.
Zlatan, we can talk about it. He's killing it right now.
He is.
Can you tell me Zlatan, Thierry Henry, Alexi Lawless, one of these things is not
and
like the other.
Rebecca Lowe.
And Rebecca Lowe.
Yes. And if you followed the athletic, who we push a lot on this pod, just from great articles, great writers, that sort of thing. There's an article today about actually just kind of how awkward the punditry is, because you have those names, a bunch of egos. Hello, just looking at Alexi Lawless and Zlatan. We know how good Thierry Henry is. He's as phenomenal on a analysis role in the broadcast booth as he was on the field, bombing up and down, the sides there. Rebecca Lowe, she goes without question. Just phenomenal. But Alexi Lawless and Zlatan is certainly interesting. Sometimes awkward. Some of the things they say, when he was calling James Corden a full or when Alexi Lawless wanker. Yeah,
and Thierry Henry's face, because you can't say that on TV.
Which is, if you have not watched the late night show, it's an hour-long show on Fox at midnight. James Corden does it with Rio Ferdinand and a comedian who's great, who I never heard of, but he's fantastic. I can't remember his name, so I apologize. But they have a guest on every night. They do some fun games. They don't look at it as a recap show. They do look over the scores, that sort of thing, but to look at the funnier moments in the games. And
kind of old school Men in Blazers in a way.
A little bit, but it's more of that late night kind of Johnny Carson type show thing. And, James Corden used to have the late show here. But it's fun. If you get a chance, watch them. About 4 or 5 episodes in. I think there's one again tonight. But he's individually had Zlatan on one, who did a lie detector test, which was hysterical.
Saw that.
And then he had Alexi Lawless on one where they did this singing thing with the audience, because Alexi Lawless sung back in the 80s and then 90s. And,
that's right.
And he signed his CD. It was very weird. So it's kind of fun. But anyways, the quote that I'm going to share is a quote that Lawless and Landon Donovan both suggested, that France's labored first half in their win against Senegal might have stemmed from arrogance. Zlatan's reply, and quote, "Ignorant people will say it's arrogance. Intelligent people will say it's confidence."
God, spoken like a man of experience with that situation.
Basically going, listen, boys, you silly Americans, I'm here to... This is Zlatan's world. And Fox is playing so good into it.
Oh, they
even
are.
In the promos where he's like in the hotel room and he's in a suit and he's like, France will win the World Cup. England will win the... Norway for the... Zlatan Nation will win the World Cup for Zlatan. Yep, I got it right. And it's something like that, and then he just walks off. So it's this, 10-second promo that Fox do, and it's great. They're playing into it.
What we missed out on was don't have Alexi Lawless. I don't need Alexi Lawless. What I want is Thierry Henry, Zlatan, and Jose Mourinho with Rebecca Lowe there.
I don't know if I want Jose. I would want Thierry Henry, Zlatan,
You know who I enjoyed?
Miko Richards.
Okay, entertainment-wise, absolutely. Roberto Martinez, I've always enjoyed when he does this stuff as well.
He is busy coaching Portugal.
But, yes, but
in the game.
but obviously glad that he's back doing his thing. But I always thought he was great.
I thought he did well when he was it the last World Cup or 2 World Cups ago. Maybe he did that with, and we all thought, yeah.
I think it was the one in Russia. I think. Okay, boom. How do I do this? I've missed one episode and I've forgotten everything. So
if you listen to our pod, I had no clue how to end it and start it half the damn time. I was like, and I'm here tonight with, and Ron's sitting right there. He's like, you're supposed to say my name, you idiot.
Yeah, that was,
I
enjoyed that so much. Excellent job editing the pod for the first time last go around, Ferris. If you did not get, if Ron did not point that out in the previous episode, but well played. So follow us on the Brewtiful Game. Follow us on Untapped. I have all my England beers. I think I've gotten them all in there from my trips. Again, all pull drafts for the most part. And then one delicious peach beer that was so refreshing. But plenty of good stuff there. Our website, thebrutifulgame.com. Follow us on the socials. Just whichever one you like, just go follow. But the more important thing is tell your friends about us, leave us a rating or review, tell your family.
Oh, for Christ's sakes.
Gotta tell them great grandmas. And last but not least, let's wrap this up. Ferris, I want to go back to Holland.
Okay.
Not the country, but the man, Erling. Ferris, what is Holland's position for the Norway national team?
Striker?
No. What do we call that? No. Man City, yes. But for the Norway national team, he plays Fjord. Love the beer, cherish the game. The Brewtiful Game.
There's only one Zlatan.